Let's not waste any more time with bad settings that ruin your progression. In this video, I will break down all the essential settings in Rocket League. Stick around for the final 2 chapters where I nerd out with statistical analysis of pro settings. But first, let's start with the basics. Gameplay. There's not much in here. The only thing that might be relevant is input buffer. If you are experiencing some lag, you might want to try it on STS or CST, one of the other settings. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. And now, interface. I've changed the nameplate scales to 150%. It's totally personal preference, whatever you feel like. I suggest match notifications on kickoff only. It has happened to me that the text on the screen messed up with my play at the end of the game. That's it for interface. Video. For this section, it will be very dependent on your computer. I don't really know how it affects consoles, but even if performances are not an issue, a lot of those improves visibility. Resolution depends on your monitor. I play in 2K, my system can take it, but 1080p is great, no problem. Display mode. Display mode should be on full screen. It is currently on borderless because I'm recording. But when I play and I'm on borderless, I can feel the difference. Frames per seconds. It should be at the very least your monitor refresh rate. I like it higher. I can feel the difference. I play on 360. All other settings are low, on, off, or high performance other than the render quality. I keep it on high quality. It degrades the image quality too much. And anyways, the other settings are mostly useless flair. Audio. Totally personal preference. But I still discovered some nice settings in here while I was recording. Streamer safe music. That's cool. If you're streaming, recording, whatever. And mute and unfocus. If you tend to alt tab a lot, you're gonna still hear the 3, 2, 1 or the game joining. Useful. Chat. Again, very specific to everyone's preference, but if you tend to tilt, I would suggest putting your quick chat and match chat on. I put it on friends only. There's a setting for off as well. The only issue with that is your teammate might call a fake or something similar. You wouldn't see it. But on the other hand, how many games have you lost because you spammed quick chat and tilted your teammate, or your teammate spammed quick chats, or the other team? Or I think trade-off is pretty good. Personally, I wrote in my name in parentheses that my chat is off, so I assume my teammate is not sending me quick chats. Camera. Now that's a big one. What I did is I took a top 20 pro list on Wikipedia, collected all their settings, and generated a few statistics to confirm my explanations for this video. As you can see in the data here, there seems to have a consensus on field of view, distance, height, and angle. No matter how we look at it, these settings seems to be the gold standard. So 110, 270, 100 height, the angle 3.4, 3, -3, -4, something like that. If all 20 top pros agrees, it's most likely because those settings are just good. Stiffness seems to be a bit more preference-based, but the majority agrees to 0.35 or 0.4. Sorted. 0.35, 0.4C, there's like 12 of them that run that. And then it starts to go higher. So I would stay in there, 0.35, 0.4. Swivel speed and transition, on the other hand, are solely based on preference. They only change the speed that your camera moves with either your stick or when you toggle your ball cam. So here are my final camera settings. Give you a second if you want to pause, take a look at them in detail, but it's pretty much what we just talked about. Controls, and now it gets complicated. I would like to remind you all that these are pros. They have different needs and skills than us mere humans. First, for sensitivity. There is no real need to have aerial and steering sensitivities different, and most pros on the list agree. I think I counted 12 of them. Then I would like to state that everyone under champion should hang around 1.2 to 1.4 sensitivity. Again, no need to go higher than that. You lose too much precision. Champions and up could consider 1.4 to 1.8, but I don't know why everyone wants the highest possible sensitivity. It is simply a multiplier that is applied to your input, like mouse acceleration, which means it does not make your car spin faster, it makes your car spin at full speed with less joystick input. It does make a difference in the diagonals, which is why we do play with that setting of sensitivity. If we remove the outliers, which are the one in orange, if we sort them, you see that it's 117, 145, 15, 16, 17, 18, 2, 205, and then 3 and 4. M0nkey M00n and Reysbull. If we remove them, we come out with a number of 1.6 as the mean, the average. And with them in, we're at almost 1.8. It's not representative of the actual average. What I would like to say is when I see low champions with 2.5 sensitivity, I lose my mind. Why would you need much more sensitive sticks inputs than Zen setting at 1.5, 1.5? It's just going to make it harder for you for no reason. There's no benefit. Next, dead zones. First up is the controller dead zone. Controller dead zone. Generally, lower is better. But there's two important factors to consider. If you look at the image here, the settings change the size of the red square in the middle. All inputs in the red square are disregarded by the game. Important to know, if you have an older controller, you might have a tad of state drift. You might not be able to play on 0.06. I would say that until 0.12 for us mere mortals, it is playable. I did it till GC2. But it's gonna affect the next point. Linked to the size of the red square are those yellow zones. And a front flip will be a front flip only if your joystick is in the yellow zone. If you're in the green zone, it's gonna look like a front flip, but it's gonna act like a diagonal flick. So when you want to do a speed flip, you're looking at doing some kind of diagonal flip, somewhat vertical, and then cancel it. And if your sensitivity is too high, no, you're so if your dead zone is too high, you're gonna lose too much of that real estate in the sweet spot for a speed flip. I played for the longest time on 0.10. Recently I started on 0.08, and after doing this analysis I be switching to 0.06 as per what the data tends to suggest. Finally, touch dead zone. This setting changed the size of this red square in the middle. If you use your second jump and your stick is in the red, it will just jump. Outside of the red, it will flip. I saw a lot of diamonds and champions recently that have their dodge dead zone extremely low. Talking about 0.15, 0.20. There's no reason to have that. These outliers here. I would advise against that. It is going to make fast aerialing much harder to master. If we remove the outliers, we end up with an average of 0.61, 0.6, which means every stick input over 60% is going to be a flip. I was at 0.7, but I'm gonna go down to 0.6. Here are my final controller settings. Give you a second to pause it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and good luck on the grind.